Stone Soup, a French folk tale. Once upon a time, there was a war in a far-off land. When the war ended, the people were tired after many years of fighting, and they were hungry too, for there was little food left in the land. The people carefully guarded what little food they had, and they even began to hide it from their friends and neighbors. At this time, a soldier was coming home from the war. He walked long and far and was tired and hungry. He saw a village ahead. He thought, perhaps here I can rest, and if the villagers are kind, they will offer me a little food and drink. But as the soldier approached the village, he saw the people scurrying into their houses and slamming their doors behind them. Muttered the soldier, "that's an odd way to welcome a weary traveler." He walked up to the first house and knocked on the door. "Good evening," he called out. "I've been walking a long way, and I'm hungry and cold. I seek a bite to eat and a place to sleep tonight." "Just keep walking," cried a voice from inside. "We have hardly enough food for ourselves and nothing to share." The soldier sighed and knocked on the next door. "Good evening," he called. "I've been walking long and am hungry and cold." "Go away," cried a voice from inside. "There's hardly a bite to eat in all the land, and certainly none to spare." The soldier knocked at every door, but no one would let him in or give him even a morsel of food. So he walked to the square at the center of the village, and there he stopped. He patted each of his many pockets as though searching for something important. Then he gave a great smile and announced in a loud voice, "Here it is," as he pulled a smooth round stone from one of his pockets. "After all," he said, "I have all that I need, for I can make a nice big pot of stone soup." An old woman who had cracked open her door to watch the soldier cried, "I've never heard of such a thing. How can you make soup from a stone?" "Bring me a kettle," said the soldier, "and you will see." The old woman brought out a small rusty pot. The soldier shook his head and said, "Thank you, but I will need a bigger pot if I'm going to cook for the whole village." "For the whole village?" exclaimed the old woman. She hobbled across the square and banged on one of the heavy doors. "Open this door," she cried. "Lend us your kettle. This soldier says he can make soup from a stone, enough for the whole village." A moment later, a man and his 2 strong sons lumbered out the door, carrying an enormous kettle between them. When they had dragged it to the center of the square, the soldier said, "Thank you. Now I must have water to fill the kettle and a good hot fire to heat the water." One by one, the curious villagers left their houses and formed a line from the well to the square. They passed buckets of water from hand to fill the kettle. They piled logs under the kettle and built a roaring fire. Then they crowded around the soldier and watched as he carefully dropped the stone into the kettle and began to stir. After a little while, he dipped a spoon into the kettle and tasted a small sip. He exclaimed, "It's good, very good indeed. But if I had just a pinch of salt and a dash of pepper, it would be even better." "Oh, I might have a grain or two left in my cupboard," a woman said. She ran home, and when she returned, she dropped a fistful of salt and a cup of pepper into the boiling water. "Imagine," she said, "soup made from a stone." "Thank you," said the soldier. "Now, if we had a carrot or perhaps a potato or two, I could make this soup truly delicious." "Surely we have a carrot or a potato left in our garden," a man said. He ran home and returned with an armful of carrots and a sack of potatoes. "And see here," cried the soldier, "your neighbor has also brought an onion the size of the moon." The villagers laughed, and one or two patted the man on the back. The man chopped the vegetables and dropped them into the boiling water and said, "Imagine, soup made from a stone." The soldier took another taste of the soup. "Marvelous," he cried. "Now if only we had a bit of beef and barley, this soup would be fit for a king." Immediately some villagers ran home and returned with a side of beef and a sack of barley. The soldier stirred in the ingredients, and a rich aroma soon filled the air. He took a taste, closed his eyes, and smiled. Just then, a small child with bright red hair approached. She looked up at the soldier with shy eyes, and then she held out a plump green cabbage. "Perfect!" cried the soldier. He bent to thank the child and placed a gentle kiss on her red hair. As the soldier chopped the cabbage into the kettle, the villagers cried, "Stone soup! We want stone soup!" "There's enough for everyone," replied the soldier. "Let us set a table and eat together." The men carried out benches and long wooden tables. The women spread the tables with cloths and brought out spoons. The children gathered flowers and set a bouquet in the center of each table. Then they hurried home to change into their best clothing. "Come now," said a man to the soldier. "My oldest son is about your size. Let us see if we can find you a better suit of clothes." So the soldier went home with the man and was given a fine set of new clothes. When he returned to the square, he ladled out the soup until all were served. Then they ate and drank until they were full, and the villagers whispered, "Imagine, who knew that stone soup could be so delicious?" In good cheer, they told stories and sang songs. One brought out a fiddle, another played a flute, and they danced until the stars came out. At last, it was time to go to bed. "Is there a barn or a cowshed where I might sleep?" asked the soldier. "Oh, nonsense," said the mayor of the village. "You will sleep in my house. We always have room for friends." So the soldier slept in a soft bed in a warm room. The next morning, the soldier gathered his things and pushed open the front door. All the villagers had gathered in the square. "Please take this," they said, handing him a bag stuffed with bread and cheese. "It's our way of thanking you for sharing the secret of how to make stone soup." "Oh, I thank you with all my heart," said the soldier, "but there is no secret but this. Even in the hardest times, if each and every one will give a little, then much good can be done for many." He took the stone from his pocket and placed it in the hands of the red-haired child. Then, whistling a merry tune, he walked down the road and over the hill out of sight. Thank you so much for watching and listening today. Please don't forget to like and hit subscribe. You'll never miss another story. Bye.